Okay. The court is in session in cause number 327496, case to style of state of Texas versus Christopher Lewis Dollins. Mr. Dollins, you could take your mic off of mute.
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Okay. How are you doing, Mr. Dollins?
Pretty good, mate.
That's good. Mr. Dollins, you're here represented by your attorney, who is also appearing on Zoom, Attorney Dustin Galmore. Attorney Galmore, how are you doing?
I'm great, Judge. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Attorney Galmore, what's your announcement in Christopher Dollins' case?
Judge, we've gone through the discovery and noticed that there are some 911 phone calls that are incomplete or missing. And so we've requested that from the state recently by email. And so either we could put it on another announcement to get that taken care of, or, Your Honor, I suspect that this is going to require trial. We could go ahead and put it on the trial docket, whichever one the court prefers.
Galmore, I didn't receive that email. If you'd be kind enough to resend that email, I appreciate it.
Okay.
Okay, we'll keep it on the announcement docket so you can get your discovery.
7/27.
Okay, the case is gonna be reset to July 27th of 2022. Mr. Galmore, your reset will be sent to you. And Mr. Dollins, your reset for July 27, 2022 will be sent to your attorney and your bondsman. Stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman. This will conclude your case. You're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Yes, sir, Your Honor. You too.
Thank you,
All right.
Judge.
You're welcome. Okay, this is cause number 328816, case of style of state of Texas versus Anthony McGill. Mr. McGill, you can take your mic off of mute.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. McGill, you are here represented by your attorney, Attorney James Paget. Attorney Paget, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Mr. Paget, what is your announcement in Mr. McGill's case?
We would ask that this case be placed on your trial docket, Your Honor. We've received all
Okay.
the discovery.
Okay, give us a trial date. Mr. Bailey, go get Jonathan Walker.
July 20.
Okay, Mr. Paget, this case will be reset for trial on July 25th of 2022. Your reset will be sent to you. And Mr. McGill, your attorney and your bondsman will be given a copy of your reset. Stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman. This will conclude your case. You're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, Jonathan Walker. Mr. McGill, you free to go. You can take it, you can
Yes, sir.
disconnect.
I'm doing it now. Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Well, this is cause number 331286. Oh. Case is style of state of Texas versus Jonathan David Walker. Mr. Walker, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Walker, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Walker, you're here represented by your attorney, Attorney James Paget, who is appearing via Zoom.
Yes.
Mr. Paget, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Your Honor.
Mr. Paget, what is your announcement in Jonathan Walker's case?
Your Honor, we have received all the discovery. The only thing we have left to do is view the videotape. I anticipate this case will be disposed of. If you would give us a normal reset, I'm certain that we can dispose of it on the next setting.
Okay, this case will be reset to July 27th of
That's
2022.
perfect.
Mr. Paget, your reset will be sent to you. And Mr. Walker,
Yes.
you can get your, stand on the far X, you'll be able to get your reset. And from the court coordinator, once you get your reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Mr. Paget, I think this is your last case, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Paget, you're free to go and you have a blessed day.
You too, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. So as the guy, did he get a copy of this motion?
It's been filed, yeah, e-filed.
Oh, well, let one of the prosecutors take a look at it. I need to.
This is, just Mr. Colonel's here, right now, the pre-covered contract and everything. We sent this out a long time ago, just to do it into our office.
I mean, they can, Mr.
Yes, that is, like, covered, but, you know, I mean, sure. Not a whole secret.
Confirm with mine.
What you asking?
We filed this a long time ago. He's already in the
Justin LeBlanc. Once you get Justin LeBlanc.
Justin.
This is cause number 327040, case of style of the state of Texas versus Justin Ryan LeBlanc. Mr. LeBlanc, how are you doing? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. LeBlanc, he's pro se. Okay, there's a waiver in his file. Okay, Miss,
Judge, could we put this case on recall?
Just
I
hold-
think
okay.
The defendant, pro se defendant, and I, we previously conferred. There's
Okay.
something I need to check on. I think we're gonna be able to resolve this case.
okay, just have a seat. In one of the chairs, they have the black and yellow tape, and we'll call you back. Did Charles Smith arrive? He's not. Could you call Charles Smith's name again?
No response.
Okay, we'll call him again. Call the name of Rendon Hightower.
Judge, he's here outside. I think we're on the announcement docket and would like to just reset. the
Okay,
plea, please.
just have him to come on in. You can come on up.
Thank you, Judge.
I have another one I'm not listed on.
Hmm?
I have another one that I'm not listed on.
Oh.
So after he gets out, I'll make an announcement for she's outside. I thought we sent a letter over to the county. We did. I published it as their attorney, Jarrell.
Okay, this is cause number 331404. Case of style of state of Texas versus Rendon Hightower.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hightower, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Hightower, you're here represented by your attorney, Larry Dowden. Attorney Dowden, how are you doing?
Doing fine, Judge. Thank you.
The state is represented by Attorney Tommy Coleman. Attorney Coleman, how are you doing?
Good, John.
Mr. Dowden, what is your announcement?
Your Honor, we have received an offer from Mr. Ham, and Mr. Hightower would like to accept that offer for a plea in this matter. And we'd like to be reset today for the plea docket, if the court would allow that.
Okay. You want to give us a plea date?
7/20, that would be 7/25 or 8/1.
Which one? You can check your schedule.
I think it'll be fine.
Which one? 7/25 is fine for you?
Yes, yes.
Okay, Mr. Hightower, your case is gonna be reset to July 25th of 2022. Your attorney is going to sign for your reset. Once he signs for your reset and gives it to you, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. And Attorney Dowden, you'll be free to go as well.
Thank
and
you,
You have a
Judge.
blessed day.
Hope you have a good day.
All
Is
right.
this your understanding of what the deal was?
I have
That's what you got? Okay. Let's make sure we're on the same page.
Same page, yes. sir. Thank you.
This is cause number 331-980-1. Case is style of State of Texas versus Christina Lee Jarrell. Ms. Jarrell, is that your full name?
It is.
How are you doing, Ms. Jarrell?
I'm well.
Okay, Ms. Jarrell, we do not have you listed, we do not have an attorney of record that's listed. However, Mr. John West said that you had hired him, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, now, Mr. West's letter of representation is not on file. So right now, what we'll do, and he's going to look into that and get it on file. But we're gonna reset your case.
Okay.
And we'll reset it 60 days.
Well, there is a felony pending, Your Honor,
Oh,
so we can. set
Oh,
up the
okay,
felony.
we'll reset it with your felony.
Yeah, set
Now,
it.
you're gonna have to sign for the reset.
Okay.
And then once you sign for the reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, it's right over there on the Forex. The person that's on Zoom that has your telephone and last three digits are 981, would you please state your full name?
Rebecca Eichmann.
Oh, Ms. Eichmann. Joe Vasquez was just in here. Your case was dismissed on yesterday.
Okay. I just
Okay.
wanted to make sure. All right. Thank you very much.
Yes, stay in contact with your attorney.
All right. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. You're free to go. Okay.
Justin Mattingly has been replaced.
This is cause number 329024. Case is style of state of Texas versus Kevin Eugene Hunter. Mr. Hunter, is that your full name?
Yes, sir, it is.
How you doing, Mr. Hunter?
Doing well, sir.
That's good. Mr. Hunter, you're here represented by your attorney, Attorney Corey Crenshaw. Attorney Crenshaw, how are you doing?
Doing well, Your Honor. Thank you.
And the state is represented by Attorney Kathleen Nelson. Attorney Nelson, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you, Judge.
Mr. Crenshaw, I have before me a motion to withdraw as counsel. Mr. Hunter, have you received a copy of the motion to withdraw?
I have not, Your Honor.
Could you get that to him? You could take time. Okay, have you had a chance to review that motion?
Yes, sir, I have.
Do you have any opposition to Mr. Crenshaw withdrawing as your attorney?
I'd like to find a way to meet the means of Mr. Crenshaw's request and try to make those arrangements necessary to keep him as my counsel.
Mr. Crenshaw?
Your Honor, it's been 4 months since I've received the payment. I've been telling him for 6 months this day was coming. Yesterday he made some additional promises. I've already performed a significant amount of work on this case. He's had 2 bond revocation hearings in Orange County on a pending case there that I've represented him on. I did his occupational driver's license and paid his reinstatement fee out of my own pocket, which is pretty much unheard of for a lawyer to do that. I mean, you can't say I haven't tried. He's having some financial problems, which I understand and I'm sympathetic to, but at the same time, I practice law as a hobby and I've got to be paid. So I think it's just best for, this is amicable. I wish him the best, but I think it's best to go find.
So y'all just basically, he's not fulfilling the contractual obligations?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, Mr. Hunter?
Yes, sir.
You heard what Mr. Crenshaw had to say?
Yes, sir.
And it seems like there's good cause that exists in view of the fact that you have not met your contractual obligations with your attorney. Okay,
Yes, sir. I understand.
okay, so court is going to grant this motion. What's the date?
25th.
Okay. Now, Mr. Hunter, well, first of all, Mr. Crenshaw, you released from representing Mr. Hunter in this case. Mr. Hunter,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Now, Mr. Hunter, based on representation that has been made by Mr. Crenshaw in this case, as a defendant in a criminal case, you have three options. Could you give him that form? He's going to give you a document that's titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants without attorneys. And he says, as a defendant in a criminal case, you have three options. Number one, you may hire an attorney. Do you understand that option?
I do, yes, sir.
Number two, if you do not have enough money to hire an attorney, you may request an attorney be appointed to represent you. Do you understand that option?
I do, Your Honor.
And number three, you may represent yourself. Do you understand that
I
option?
do, Your Honor.
Now, if you want an attorney to represent you and you have enough money to hire an attorney, the case will be reset to give you time to do so. If you want an attorney and do not have the money to hire one, you will need to fill out a financial questionnaire so that the proper person can determine whether or not to appoint an attorney to represent you. You may not speak to the prosecutor about your case unless you sign a written waiver of your right to be represented by an attorney. Be aware that there are dangers to self-representation. Waiving your right to an attorney and representing yourself may result in the worst outcome for you and your case, including the loss of significant legal rights and opportunities relating to military service, possession of a firearm, housing and public benefits, child custody, immigration status for non-citizens, and employment. If you choose to proceed without an attorney, you may change your mind at any time and may request counsel from the court. Do you understand?
I do, Your Honor. Yes, sir.
Now, at the bottom of that document, it states defendant's choice. Mark initials next to only one choice. If your choice is, I want to reset this case to hire my own attorney, then you'll put your initials on the first line to the left. If you've already hired an attorney to represent you in this case, then you'll put your initials on the second line to the left and the name of the attorney on the line to the right. If your choice is, I want to apply for court-appointed counsel, then you'll put your initials on the third line to the left. If you've already been appointed a court-appointed attorney in this case, you'll put your initials on the fourth line to the left and the name of the attorney on the line to the right. If you want to waive your right to represent yourself, then you'll put your initials on the fifth line to the left. Once you have finished initialing one of the 5 lines, then you will sign on the line where it says defendant, and you will date it today's date, May 25th of 2022. Do you understand?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay. You could take some time and
I'm ready, Your Honor.
okay. Now, Mr. Hunter,
Yes, sir.
your choice is to reset this case so that you can hire your own attorney. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, Mr. Hunter, we're going to reset this case. I'm gonna give you 60 days to hire you an attorney to represent you in this case, okay? You're gonna stand on the 4X in front of our court coordinator. You're gonna sign the reset. Once you get the reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And just a little bit, I'll tell you to sign that box. You won't be able to see that.
Mr. No, Mr. Crenshaw. Court is in session in cause number 327040. The case is styled the state of Texas versus Justin Ryan LeBlanc. Mr. LeBlanc, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. LeBlanc, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. LeBlanc, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. LeBlanc, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. LeBlanc?
Doing pretty good.
That's good. Mr. LeBlanc. Where is his, I need his paperwork for that's showing that he's pro se. Yeah, your copy, it's, you should be, cause number 327040. The waiver and the, yes, copy of the waiver and the judge's explanation.
The discovery certificate right there.
Okay. Did he, okay. Okay, Mr. LeBlanc. Okay, I think, Mr. LeBlanc, I've previously swore you in, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, Mr. LeBlanc, you have a right to have a record in this case. What that means is you have a right to have a court reporter to type down everything that's being said in your case. You also have a right to waive or give up that right to have a record. Do you waive your right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, Mr. LeBlanc, I have before me a document that is titled information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. And this information alleges that on or about April 18 of 2020, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of theft. Mr. LeBlanc, do you understand what you've been charged with? And to discharge Mr. LeBlanc, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. LeBlanc, I also have before me a document that is titled Waiver of Counsel for Purposes of Entering a Guilty Plea. Do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? I also have a document that's titled Judge's Explanation of to Defendants, Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. Do you recognize this document? And are these your initials on the line stating you want to waive your right to an attorney to represent yourself? And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? Mr. LeBlanc, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. Do you recognize this document? On page 2 of the same document, there are 2 sets of initials. The first set of initials, JL, are on a line next to a box that's checked guilty. Mr. LeBlanc, did you place your initials on this document? And the second set of initials, JL, is next to a line that reads, I do not request discovery of the evidence. I waive my right to request discovery in this case and choose to enter a plea of guilty or no contest. Are these your initials? On page 3 of the same document, Mr. LeBlanc, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Is that your signature? And on the next document, Mr. LeBlanc, that's titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature above the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
There are 2 boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that? Now, Mr. LeBlanc, prior to signing and initialing all of these documents, these 4 documents that I've just mentioned to you, did you read the documents?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand what you read?
Yes, sir.
Is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. LeBlanc, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer States 1?
Yes, Your Honor, state offer states 1.
Mr. LeBlanc, the state is offering State's Exhibit number 1 to be used as evidence against you. Now, State's Exhibit number 1 is a document that you acknowledge. He says Class B misdemeanor on page 1. Your initials are in 2 spots on page 2, and you acknowledge your signature on page 3. State would like to use this document as evidence against you in your case. Is it all right for the state to use this document as evidence in your case? Okay, no objections. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. LeBlanc, is there any evidence that you are currently mentally incompetent to stand trial? Okay, Mr. LeBlanc, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
In exchange for the defendant's plea of guilty in this case, the state's recommending confinement in the Jefferson County Jail for a period of 30 days. However, we're asking that the defendant not serve the 30 days and that the court give him credit for the time that he has previously spent in the Jefferson County Jail on this charge and the time he spent in TDCJ while this case was pending, essentially making this a time served offer, Judge. As it relates to the court cost, we're asking that the court give the defendant credit for that time he served in tax and retire the court cost as well.
Okay, Mr. LeBlanc, the state is offering that you serve 30 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you do not have to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail because you've already served 30 days in the Jefferson County Jail. Therefore, you'll be given credit for time served. The court cost in this case is $347, but you will not have to pay the $347 because the time that you spent in jail has already paid it off. Therefore, the court costs will be taxed and retired. Mr. LeBlanc, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. LeBlanc, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. LeBlanc, you're gonna stand on the X right to you right here. You're gonna follow the directions of our clerk. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I signed to dismiss the other calls. 448. Yeah, I just put to dismiss and put on there. She had to fill it out. Your Honor, I apologize if anything wrong with that tablet. I'm not used to electronics in Orange County. Not turn it on.
Actually,
You know the case number that was being discussed?
Yeah, that's I think it's 329-448. think. Yeah, 329-448 being dismissed.
3294.
Okay.
No, 448.
3294.
No.
329-448. That's all right, I'm talking fast. This is your court.
Okay. Court is in session and calls numbers 329-448 and calls number 329-450. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Alex J. Nieto.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Nieto, is that your full name?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I see it. Alex Jaime Nieto.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Nieto, would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Nieto, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Nieto?
I'm doing good today, Your Honor. How about yourself?
I'm doing fine, thanks, Fax. Mr. Nieto, you're here represented by your attorney Brennan Mitchell. Attorney Mitchell, how are you doing?
Anytime me in Jefferson County, I'm doing great. Judge.
That's good. And the state is represented by attorney Kathleen Nelson. Ms. Nelson, again, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, Judge. Thank you.
Mr. Nieto, in cause number 329450, I have before me an information that was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. This information alleges that on or about February 13th of 2021, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense. Let me change this here. You got B check. Okay. That you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of evading arrest, detention. Now,
Real quick, Judge, sorry. Good.
okay. Now, Mr. Nieto, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, Your Honor.
And to this charge, Mr. Nieto, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty, Your Honor.
Mr. Nieto, I also have, now, Mr. Nieto, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, Your Honor.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Nieto, I have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishments. And there's one box that's checked stating that this is a Class A misdemeanor. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
On page 2 of the same document, Mr. Nieto, there's a set of initials, AN, that are on a line next to a box that's checked guilty. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, Your Honor.
And just for the record, Mr. Brennan, did I ask, do you waive a record in this case?
Yes, Judge, we do.
Okay. And Mr. Nieto, I have before me another document that is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that your signature above the line that's titled defendant?
It is, Your Honor.
There is one box that's checked at the top of this document. That box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have that discovery certification.
I can sign one real quick, Judge. We'd certainly put it on the record that we did receive discovery in this case in compliance with 3914.
329450. you could get at the Mitchell, mail. No, I'm saying give it to, her. Okay, thank you. Now, Mr. Nieto, I have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. You recognize this document?
Yes, you are.
And is this your signature above the line that's titled defendant?
It is.
Now, I noticed here on the top of this document where it says State of Texas versus, somebody wrote Alejandro James Nieto, or is it?
With, when you had the other. Is that your legal name? No, my legal name is Alex. Okay, because I've got it two
Okay.
ways on documents here. So
Yeah, okay.
I'll make sure I get it right for you.
I think it's Alex Jaime or Alex, it's styled Alex J Nieto.
Alex.
Yeah,
James.
it's Alex J on the document, on the information. Alex J Nieto. Okay, thank you. Now, Mr. Nieto, again, I have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. You recognize this document?
Yes, you are.
And is this your signature above the line that's titled defendant?
It is.
Now, Mr. Nieto, prior to signing these documents that I've just mentioned to you, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you read and understand everything that he went over?
I did.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
It is.
Mr. Nieto, are you a US citizen?
Yes, Your
Uh, State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer States 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections, Mr. Mitchell?
No objection, Judge.
No objections. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Oh, she got me to sign. Okay. Mr. Mitchell, you advised and counseled Mr. Nieto. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Nieto, your attorney, Mr. Mitchell, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
I am, Your Honor.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes.
Mr. Nieto? Okay, Mr. Nieto. Okay, Mr. Nieto, the court will accept your plea of guilty. The court will find that you are, oh, do this here. Mr. Nieto, Mr. Mitchell has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has he provided fully effective and competent legal representation?
Yes.
Okay, now, Mr. Nieto, the court will accept your plea of guilty. The court will also find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. The court will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
It is a 1-year deferred for 12 months and 40 hours community service requirements.
Does he have a fine and court costs? It's fine. Does he have a
No fine.
No,
no fine?
no fine.
Okay, Mr. Okay. I see here, I'm looking at the judgment. It says that he has another case that's going to run concurrent with another case. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
And another one is being
We're
dismissed.
Yes, we're dismissing 32944A.
32944A. And the case is running concurrent with,
21-36876 out
Correct.
of Judge Stevens Court.
okay. Mr. Neto, the state is offering that you serve 12 months deferred adjudicated probation. During the 12-month deferred probationary period, you will not be required to pay a fine. However, you will be required to pay court costs of $352. You will also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, a urinalysis fee of $15 each month. And this will come to total monthly installments of $110 per month. Mr. Nieto, will you be able to pay the $110 per month?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, just for the record, this case is also running concurrent with cause number 21-36876. Is that a probation case?
Yes, Your Honor, it's deferred.
And so basically, what's gonna happen, because and it's in Jefferson County?
Yes, Judge, it's out of Judge Stevens Court.
Okay. That means that you'll only be paying one probation fee. And so in effect, instead of paying $110 a month, you'll probably be paying like $50 a month.
Yes, sir.
Because you're paying the $60 in the other case. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, will you be able to pay the monthly installments?
I will be, Your Honor.
You will. Now, you also be required to perform 40 hours of community service. And as I stated earlier, this case will run concurrently with cause number 21-36876 and cause number 329448 will be dismissed.
Correct.
Now, Mr. Nieto, do you understand the state's offer?
I do, Your Honor.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
It is.
And do you accept the state's offer?
I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Nieto, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Nieto, if you successfully complete the deferred probationary period in this case will be dismissed. It would not result in a conviction on your record. And you may qualify for a non-disclosure. You can talk to your attorney about the non-disclosure because he's quite competent in those matters. Now you're gonna stand on the X next to your attorney, gonna follow the directions of our court clerk. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go. And I'm signing the dismissal right now.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yeah,
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. You have a blessed day. And Mr. Mitchell, you're gonna have to sign too.
Yes, Judge.
Court is in session and cause number 325388. Case of style, the state of Texas versus Rashawn, what is that, Malankin? What's your, how you, Macklin Mouton. How you doing, Mr. Mouton? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Mouton, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Mouton, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, Mr., you said y'all had a motion for,
I think they said a dismissal.
I got a dismissal, yeah, I thought,
Yes,
okay.
this is what it is, Judge. It's dismissal.
Do y'all had the forfeiture weapon that,
Yes.
did y'all fill that out?
We did. Did you not get it, Judge?
Is it-
They give you a-
That's it? That's it right there.
Oh, great.
Okay. Now, Mr. Mouton, I previously swore you in?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, Mr. Mouton, I have before me a motion to forfeit of the weapon in cause number 325-388. And Mr. Mouton, this motion was submitted or filed by the district attorney's office. Do you recognize this motion?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Now, prior to signing this motion, did your attorney go over this motion with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in this motion?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, Mr. Mouton, the court is going to grant this motion to forfeit the weapon to the Beaumont Police Department. I didn't have a line for me to sign. I'll just make the line.
That's the most important part of the motion.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay, now, State, do you have a motion to dismiss? Is that correct?
We should, Your Honor, yes.
No, I have it here on
Oh,
the
you have it
tab.
already, okay. Yes, Your Honor. We
Okay.
intend to dismiss this case.
Okay, now, Mr. Mouton, the state will be dismissing this case, which is cause number 325-388.
Correct.
And I'm signing the dismissal right now. Mr. Mouton, his case is dismissed. In a few seconds, you're going to be able to get a copy of the dismissal from your attorney. The dismissal is being printed off. You got Mel. She got two boxes. There's two boxes checked. There's the interest adjusted, then you got to forfeit your weapon. Do you just?
She can only use one.
Okay, just, you're gonna have to erase,
Just draw a line through it.
I think you probably just draw the line to the interest. Well, it's gonna be one or other. That's how it goes down.
I don't think I have one. So just do-
I think she got, it's on the other.
Yeah, it's under other.
Just do the other.
Just leave the other on and get rid of it.
Or straight dismiss
Okay. Oh, let me do this here.
Interest of justice.
Yeah, you can do that.
Just
Okay.
leave that and take out other. Got it.
Is it erasing?
No, Judge, it said.
Oh,
would you
let
like
me,
to on the last document. I think it's.
hold on. Let me check the box that says no. And I think it'll go back to, the hourglass.
I know.
Let's try it again. Here you go.
So we're erasing the interest of justice and going forward on forfeiture of weapon.
But whichever one you want done, I don't, they had two of them, so it was,
I think forfeiture of weapon makes the most sense
I
if
do
you just
too.
want to erase the interest.
I don't think we have it.
it says it's under other. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. It's still on there. No, it's not. I thought it was on there. Okay. Let's try it again. See if it's gonna print off. Okay, there it is.
Great, thank you.
You can get a copy of the dismissal. Once you get a copy of the dismissal from your attorney, be free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Yeah, I'm giving it, yeah.
Thank you, Judge. Have a great
Oh,
day.
okay, hold on a minute. All right, you have a blessed day. Court is in session and calls number 329841. Case of Solid State of Texas versus Sean Patrick Militzer. Okay, Mr. Militzer. See if I'm. Is your last name pronounced Militzer or Militzer?
You said it right.
Militzer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Militzer, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Militzer, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Militzer?
Yes, sir. About yourself.
I'm doing fine. Thanks for exit. Mr. Oh. What's your name? Because we still have Ornella DeSetter's name on this docket.
Jorge Amador, sir.
Oh, yeah.
How you pronounce it? Spell your last name?
It's Amador.
Amador. Okay. How are you doing, Attorney Amador?
I'm doing well, sir. How
You doing
about
well?
yourself?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking.
Thank you.
And let's see. Okay, Mr. Militzer, please raise your right hand again. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
Yes, sir.
You may put your hand down. Now, Mr. Militzer, how are you doing?
Good.
That's good. Mr. Militzer, I have before me a document that has been filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. This document is titled information. And this information alleges that on or about April 28, 2021, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, operating a motor vehicle in a public place, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated. Second, this information further alleges that check that box right here. That's what it did by a second. This document further, it just erased the one you got Class A. This document further alleges that prior to the commission of this offense, that you, Sean Patrick Militzer Sr., on September 18th of 2017, in County Court at Law number 2 of Jefferson County, Texas, and cause number 313584, that you were convicted of the misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated. And that conviction became final prior to the commission of this offense. Mr. Militzer, is that true?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Militzer, to the charge of driving while intoxicated, second, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Mr. Militzer, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Militzer, I have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Now, this document, there's one box that's checked stating that this is a driving while intoxicated second offense, which is a Class A misdemeanor. And the confinement and the range of punishment is confinement in jail for at least 30 days, but not to exceed 1 year. A fine not to exceed $4,000 or both such fine and confinement. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of the same document. Okay. Now you say that you entered a plea of guilty?
Yes, sir.
Because I'm looking at a box here, it's checked nolo continuous, which is no contest. It's JPM, is that your initials? Y'all need to make that change. Yeah, right here has,
Could he just plead no contest?
I think that
If-
was.
if
that
that's
was
what he
their-
wants.
That was their
No
intent.
contesting.
oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, Your Honor.
yeah, okay. Now, Mr. Minister, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Militzer, on page 2 of State's Exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishments, there are a set of initials JPM that are on a line next to a box that's checked nolo contendere, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir. It's SPM.
Excuse me, SPM. What I say, JPM?
Yes, sir.
Okay, my mistake.
It's all good.
Now, Miss Miller, also on page 3 of this document, there's a signature above the line that's titled defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document, which is titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature above the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
There are 2 boxes that are checked at the top of this document, which is a trial court certification, the defendant's right of appeal. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box that's checked states that you are waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Do we have a discovery certification?
Yes, sir. Yeah, attachment to the back as well.
Okay. Mr. Militzer, I have before me a document that is titled discovery certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Militzer, before you signed and initialed all of these documents that I've just mentioned to you, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct
Yes,
to
sir.
the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Militzer, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Military, state, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. It's a misdemeanor plea admonishment. State, you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1 and State's Exhibit number 2, the probable cause affidavit?
Yes, Your Honor. State offers both states 1 and 2.
Any objections?
No objections, Your Honor.
No objection. State's Exhibit 1 and 2 are admitted. The court will take judicial notice of the probable cause affidavit, which is in the State's Exhibit number 2, which is in the court's file. Mr. Amador,
Yes, sir.
you advised and counseled Mr. Military.
That is
Is
correct.
there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
There is no evidence, Your Honor. He is competent.
Mr. Military, your attorney, Mr. Amador, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Very.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Military, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargaining agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
What is that agreement?
Mr. Ham and the defense counsel have negotiated a plea of a combination of jail time and a fine.
Okay,
The jail time would be for 15 days in the Jefferson County Jail, beginning on today, and
Well-
also a fine of $4,000.
well, this is a class A misdemeanor. I mean, the minimum time you could get on a DWI second is 30.
Your Honor, part of the agreement was that he would pay everything up front, and it would go down to 15 days.
Well, is the minimum on a class on a DWI second is 30 days. You can't go, that's outside the punishment range.
Again, Judge,
That's an illegal punishment.
this was a deal that was negotiated by. Mr.
Okay, we
Ham.
could give y'all, I mean, if y'all need some more time to negotiate, we can reset the case to give y'all time to do that, but the court is gonna follow the law.
Can I talk to you?
Yeah.
You have to sign your other judgments first before she can make that.
Okay, let me do that. So it's gonna be July 27th of 2022. Court is going to, well, the court is not following the plea bargaining agreement, so defense is allowed to withdraw its plea, defense is withdrawing its plea. So at this time, okay, you can stand over there. She's gonna reset your case to July 27. I need to sign some documents so that she can do that. Oh.
You can have a seat right there.
This is, let me see. So I'm gonna do Neto and LeBlanc.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I just did those. So I'm gonna cancel that one. Okay. Okay. Okay, we have. The court is in session in two cases. First case is cause number 328-955. Second case is cause number 328-957. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus DeTero J. Chapman. Mr. Chapman, is that your, I think your full name is DeTero Jamon Chapman? Mr. Chapman, how are you doing? I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Chapman, you're here represented by your attorney Marvin Lewis. Attorney Lewis, how you doing?
Doing all right, Judge. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Lewis, what is your announcement?
Judge, we're gonna need some additional time to deal with the prior prosecutor that was on the case, with provide some information to them.
Okay.
Just wanna make sure he gets the code and some
How much time do y'all need on it? 30 days, that's fine?
That's fine with the state.
Okay. Could you give us a,
7/27, we don't have it.
okay, okay, it's gonna be July 27th of 2022. Mr. Lewis, you're gonna sign for the reset. The attorney's gonna sign for your reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Yes, sir, you too.
And you have a blessed day as well, Mr. Lewis. I think this is your last case?
That's it.
Okay. Risinger, okay. Keyshore Pinaroo. This is cause number 331-616. Case is style the state of Texas versus Keyshore Pinaroo.
Yes.
Mr. Pinaroo, is that your full name?
Yes.
Hi.
Venkata Kishore Pinero. My full name is Venkata Kishore Pinero.
Regatta Keyshore Pinaroo?
Yes.
How you doing, Mr. Pinaroo?
I'm the judge.
That's good. Mr. Pinaroo, you're here represented by your attorney, Attorney Risinger. How you doing, Attorney Risinger?
I'm doing just fine.
That's good. Attorney Risinger, what is your announcement in Mr. Pinaroo's case?
Your Honor, we've received all the documentary evidence that they have, but when I'm going through it, Mr. Pinaroo, we read that there's a USB thumb drive that I didn't have, and so I talked it over. I was requested 30-day reset to get the
More discovery? Okay.
yeah, the rest of my discovery, and hopefully we get this thing worked out.
Okay, okay, okay. What's that?
7/27.
Okay, your case is gonna be reset to July 27th, Mr. Pinaroo. Your attorney's gonna sign for your reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Risinger, this is your only case. You'll be free to go as well and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Oh, okay.
No, sir, you- Let's see what I'll do. Thank you.
Hold on a minute, let me,
I see it, Judge, I'm sorry.
Okay, this is cause number 329318, case of style of state of Texas versus Charles Albert Smith. Mr. Smith, is that your full name?
That's my full name.
How you doing, Mr. Smith?
Not so well.
Okay, we'll hope that you are feeling better once you, through the remainder of the day and on. Now, Mr. Smith, Mr. West, how are you doing?
Good, John.
Okay, Mr. West, what is your announcement in Mr. Smith's case?
We'd like to place this on the trial docket, John.
Okay, give us a trial date.
7/25.
Okay, this case is gonna be reset to July 25th, 2022. Mr. West, you can sign for the reset. Once you get your reset from Mr. West, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Next case is cause number 329122, case of style of state of Texas versus Joshua Levi Rowe. Mr. Rowe, would you please come forward? Mr. Rowe, your full name is Joshua Levi Rowe? How you doing, Mr. Rowe?
I'm good, all right.
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Rowe, you're represented by your attorney Tom Burbank, who is appearing via Zoom. Attorney Burbank, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, Judge. Is it Monday?
Now you're 2 days late.
Well, that's the story of my life, Your Honor.
Quiet, please. Okay. Now, Mr. Burbank, what's your announcement in Mr. Rowe's case?
At this time, Your Honor, we ask to be placed on the trial docket. I believe I have all the discovery. I've been in communication. I know with the prior prosecutor, and he's provided everything. So we should be ready to go.
Give us a date.
7/25.
Okay, it's gonna be reset to July 25th, 2022 for trial. Mr. Burbank, your reset will be sent to you. And Mr. Rowe, you can get a copy of the reset from our court coordinator on the 4X. Please stand on the 4X. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
And if Mr. Rowe can give me a call sometime today, I'll tell him what's going on in reference to the 25th date.
Okay, he here, okay.
May I be excused, Your Honor?
Let's see, yes, Mr. Burbank, I think this is the last case that you have. The other case is the person is in jail. That person, Ronaldo Carter, apparently, no, you're on the felony on that one. Bruce Smith is on the misdemeanor.
Yeah, Your Honor, and I will tell you that he was set for sentencing yesterday, but because the 252nd was in trial, they reset him. And my understanding is that the misdemeanors probably going to go by, be taken care of at the same time as the felonies.
Okay.
We have a plea agreement and he was set for sentencing.
Okay.
It was reset to whenever.
All right, you excuse and you have a blessed day.
You too, Judge. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.